Hi, second grade writers, welcome back. The last time we were together, we were talking about ways that we can bring our stories to life. We were looking at things like making sure we made our characters move and talk. And we also were looking at how we could slow down and go step by step and using our words to show rather than just tell. Well, today I have a new strategy that I'd like to talk to you about, and that is how you can bring out the inside of your character. So the way that we do that, and this is actually a chart that we used at the beginning of the year when we did our personal narrative, and that is that we would make sure to include how they feel and what they were thinking. So along with that, remember, we take our strategies that we've been using as writers and we make them even stronger. And so part of what we do now in making them stronger is that we also use these things to drop hints, and we also want to we want to build some tension. We want to keep our readers on the edge of their seat. And to do that, we want to make sure that we make it hard for them to get what they really want. So today I have a story that I want to read to you, and I'm just going to go through and I'll be adding post-its to show when the author is letting us see the inside thoughts and feelings of the main character, and when there are hints being dropped, and we will just see how this keeps the tension going and helps us as the readers stay to the edge of our seat and make predictions. So the name of the book, the title of the book is Too Many Tamales, written by Gary Soto, and it's illustrated by Ed Martinez. Snow drifted through the streets, and now that it was dusk, Christmas trees glittered in the window. Maria moved her nose off the glass and came back to the counter. She was acting grown up now, helping her mother make tamales. Their hands were sticky with masa. "That's very good," her mother said. Maria happily kneaded the masa. She felt grown up wearing her mother's apron. Her mom had even let her wear lipstick and perfume. If only she could wear Mom's ring, she thought to herself. So right there, we're seeing an inside thought. And we're already starting to think, I wonder what will happen. Maria's mother had placed her diamond ring on the kitchen counter. Maria loved that ring. She loved how it sparkled like their Christmas tree lights. When her mother left the kitchen to answer the telephone, Maria couldn't help herself. She wiped her hands on the apron and looked back at the door. Here we're hearing some drops of a hint. And this is where us as readers are thinking, uh-oh, I know what they're gonna do, so that's dropping a hint. You too can do this in your writing. "I'll wear the ring for just a minute," she said to herself. The ring sparkled on her thumb. So there she is. And this actually was a choice. The writer gave the character a choice that led to a thought that led to an action. You too should be giving your characters choices, sharing their thoughts and feelings, and then showing the action that they take because of their choice, whether they decide to do it or not. Maria returned to kneading the masa. Her hands pumped up and down on her thumb. The ring disappeared, then reappeared in the sticky glob of dough. Her mother returned and took the bowl from her. "Go get your father for this part," she said. Then the three of them began to spread the masa onto the corn husks. Maria's father helped by plopping a spoonful of meat in the center and folding the husk. He then placed them in a large pot on the stove. They made 24 tamales as the windows grew white with delicious smells of curls of steam. So right there, pumping up and down, the ring coming up and down, our author gave us another hint, keeping us on the edge of our seat. A few hours later, the family came over with armfuls of bright presents. Her grandparents, her uncle and aunt, and her cousins Dolores, Teresa, and Danny. Maria kissed everyone hello, then she grabbed Dolores by the arm and took her upstairs to play with the other cousins tagging along after them. So here we have some description, right? That step by step, moment by moment that we talked about last time. They cut out pictures from their newspapers, pictures of toys they were hoping were wrapped and sitting underneath the Christmas tree. As Maria was snipping out a picture of a pearl necklace, a shock spread through her body. "The ring!" she screamed. Everyone stared at her. "What ring?" Dolores asked. Without answering, Maria ran to the kitchen. So right there we saw a hint. First, when the author said she was cutting out the pearl necklace, didn't you think, uh-oh, she's going to remember? And then secondly, the feeling. And remember, we talked last time about how we could describe and show the feeling. So here, a shock spread through her whole body. Okay? And now there's another hint. She ran to the kitchen. The steaming tamales lay piled on a platter. "The ring is inside one of the tamales," she thought to herself. "It must have come off when I was kneading the masa." Dolores, Teresa, and Danny skidded into the kitchen behind her. "Help me," Maria cried. They looked at each other. Danny piped up first. "What do you want us to do?" "Eat them," she said. "If you bite something hard, tell me." Okay, so a couple of things that are going on here. We definitely heard the thought she had inside of her. Oh my gosh, they must be inside the tamales, right? And a hint of what she wanted them to do. And now we know they're most likely going to begin eating tamales, right? And the hint of, if you bite something hard, let me know. So here they go. The four of them started eating. They ripped off the husks and bit into them. The first one was good. The second one was pretty good. But by the third tamale, they were tired of the taste. "Keep eating," Maria scolded. Corn husks littered the floor. Their stomachs were stretched till they burst or till they hurt, but the cousins kept eating until only one tamale remained on the plate. So I want you to think for a moment, one thing this author is doing, and I'd like you to consider trying this strategy. He didn't just have them eat a few and then find the ring. No, he's making it hard for her to get back what she wants. And that's one of the things that can keep you on the edge of your seat. So I want you to think about that when you are writing your stories. "This must be it," she said. "The ring must be in that one." Well, we'll each take a bite. "You first, Danny." Danny was the youngest, so he didn't argue. He took a bite. Nothing. Dolores took a bite. Nothing. Teresa took a big bite. Still nothing. It was Maria's turn. She took a deep breath and slowly, gently bit into the last mouthful of tamales. Again, our author, every page is stretching this out, giving us a hint, and making it hard. Stretching how hard it is to get back what she lost. Nothing. Didn't any of you bite something hard? Maria asked. Danny frowned. I think I swallowed something hard, he said. Swallowed it? Maria cried, her eyes big with worry. She looked inside his mouth. Teresa said, I didn't bite anything hard, but I think I'm sick. She held her stomach with both hands. Maria didn't dare look into Teresa's mouth. She wanted to throw herself onto the floor and cry. The ring was now in her cousin's throat, or worse, his belly. How in the world could she tell her mother? But I have to, she thought. Again, now we're at the climax of it, which is like the high point, right? Where the feeling is very strong and it's super hard for our character now. Okay, you think about your own stories and character. How can you do that? She could feel tears pressing to get out as she walked into the living room where the grown-ups were all sitting. They chattered so loudly that Maria didn't know how to interrupt. Finally, she tugged on her mother's sleeve. What's the matter? Her mother asked. She took Maria's hand. I did something wrong, Maria sobbed. What? Her mother asked. Maria thought about the beautiful ring that was now sitting inside Danny's belly and got ready to confess. Then she gasped. The ring was on her mother's finger, bright as ever. The ring! Maria nearly screamed. Maria's mother scraped off a flake of dried masa. You were playing with it, she said, smiling gently. And see if you can see, our illustrator slipped in a hint in the picture. So here we had a feeling. She also had a thought, right? It shared her feeling when she was going to have to say. She sobbed. It shared her thought. She was thinking about it being in the ring being in her cousin's tummy. I wanted to wear it, Maria said, looking down at the rug. Then she told them all about how they'd eaten the tamales. Her mother moved the ring a little on her finger. It winked a silvery light. Maria looked up at her Aunt Rosa. She winked at her too. Well, it looks like we all have to cook up another batch of tamales, Rosa said cheerfully. Maria held her full stomach as everyone filed into the kitchen, joking and laughing. At first, she still felt like crying, as she needed a great bowl of masa next to Aunt Rosa. As she pumped her hand up and down, a leftover tear fell from her eyelashes into the bowl and for just a second rested on her finger, sparkling like a jewel. Then Rosa nudged her with her elbow and said, Hey, Nina, it's not so bad. Everyone knows that the second batch of tamales always tastes better than the first, right? Then Dolores, Teresa, and Danny, when they heard that from the other side of the room, they let off a groan the size of 24 tamales. And you can see in the illustration, we can see her feelings. And we can see kind of a hint of how her feelings are going to be in the end, right? There it is. Then Maria couldn't help herself. She laughed. And pretty soon, everyone else was laughing, including her mother. And when Maria put her hands back into the bowl of masa, the leftover tear was gone. So she was left with a big feeling in the end. So writers, just like this master writer we can look at and use to guide us, we can try some of the same things. So as you write, be thinking, how can I bring the inside of my character out through feelings and through the way that their thoughts are going, and try to drop hints and make it hard for them to get what they want each and every time we're writing. Great job, you guys. See you later.